Let's talk about debt. Let's say this pie graph represents all the money that you make in a year, your income. Now, it gets divided up and spent on all your expenses. Things like rent, food, utilities, and other stuff. And hopefully some left over to save for a rainy day. But let's say you want to pay for more things, and you don't have any more money to spend. Well, you only have two choices. Either your income needs to grow to make room, or you could lessen your other expenses to make room. Oh, but wait. If you don't like either of those options, there's one more thing you can do. You can borrow that money. In other words, get a loan. And all you have to do to get access to that new chunk of cash is to pay a fee. And that fee is called interest, which you can't afford in your budget. So why stop there? Why not borrow even more money and just pay more interest? Sure, things are getting a little bit tight, but you're living the good life. You see, the beauty of debt is that you get to spend all of this money, even though you only make this much money. But the problem with debt is that if you let it accumulate year after year without paying it down, it gets really big, and soon you have to borrow even more until you can't even afford the interest payments, and you default on your loans.
A common form of slavery is forced labor slavery. Debt bondage is a common method of forced labor slavery. In this illegal scheme, an employer offers a small loan to the laborer, with the understanding that the loan will be repaid through work at the owner's facility, such as a rock quarry. The perpetrator ensures this repayment is impossible by inflating the loan through exorbitant interest rates, false charges, and denying requests for information on the status of the loan. The employer becomes the laborer's owner, and the conditions of the loan are often extended to relatives of the victim, including children, who then become trapped in the cycle of slavery.
In the brick kilns, all bonded labor begins with a cash advance. The kiln owner presents the laborer with a contract that compels him to work for however long it takes to clear the debt. The original amount borrowed rarely seems to fall, and often increases. The debt traps the laborer and his family into a life of slavery.
What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there.
Do you believe in fate, Neil?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room.
You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work.
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
The economy is in freefall, and no one's sure where rock bottom is. And as the mortgage crisis and mounting job losses melt away the American dream, another fundamental economic problem is being exposed: America's debt epidemic.
Drowning in a sea of bills.
Then it's time to play Debt. The game show where three debt-laden Americans just like you compete to have us pay off all their bills and go home with nothing. And now, let's meet today's contestant.
Late at night in January last year, a body lies by a railway line. The only clue to the death is a bag nearby. Inside, dozens of credit card statements detailing a mountain of debt. Mark MacDonald, who was 43, had thrown himself under a train, leaving a widow and two children.
And it's a story being repeated nationwide with equally bloody consequences. In Phoenix, a man opened fire on police when he refused to leave his house. In Ohio, an old married couple killed themselves when faced with eviction. While in Florida, a man was gunned down by police after he set his recently foreclosed townhouse on fire.
Help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone. The good earth is rich. We can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful. But we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost.